So today we're speedrunning through Plague Inc., which might hit a little too close to home right now, but whatever. Now the category that we're going to be doing is all the different plague types. We're starting with fungus and then we're going to move on from there. And I will show you really quick what we do for the genetic code. These are basically the power-ups you can give your plague. You have to unlock each of them, but we're going to start right here. We have the ATP boost, which gives you bonus DNA at the beginning. DNA is what you use to buy different symptoms and things like that, so that's definitely important. We have Aquasite, which increases the chance of the plague spreading by sea. We have Pathostasis, which makes sure ability costs don't increase as you buy more. And this will be switched over to Symptostasis for the different kinds of plagues, but for right now we have it here. We have Darwinus, which increases the chance of your plague mutating, and we have Extremophile, which gives your plague a minor bonus in all the different environments. So with all that out of the way, we can get started with the speedrun, but we don't start the timer until we actually go and start the plague. So before that, we can start preparing, and the first thing we want to prepare with is the Spore Bursts. These are overpowered, and I'll show you why now as we start our speedrun. Yeah, you can see our plague is spread a bit. So what these do is they spread random bursts of the plague everywhere in the world. And this is why we get the one that makes sure your abilities don't cost more money. And then right after that, we're going to try to get some more transmission ways up. Our main ways are going to be through the water and through the air. So you can see there are different airplanes and boats that go throughout. We can spread the plague using those. And that's why we upgrade the transmission right there so we can get some more of those. So we're going to get some more air. And now we have to focus a little bit more on symptoms. We don't want to go into too lethal of symptoms just yet, because as you get more lethal symptoms, more countries focus on making a cure. But you also don't want to wait too long, so it is kind of like an interesting place to go in between. We have most of the world infected right now. I would like it to travel a tiny bit more before we go full in on all of the different symptoms, but you know, might as well give some paralysis. First death in the UK, that's all right with me. There's going to be plenty more of them. The good thing is, because our Spore Burst went to Iceland right away, Iceland's really hard to get your plague into, so we actually got really lucky with this RNG, and we can start our killing a lot earlier. There are a few places like Sweden, which is doing all right. Things are going to get much worse for Sweden in just a second. Different places are falling into anarchy. There are no more healthy people in the world. Yeah, it's time for the end of our first little run. And there we go. That's pretty much the end of what we need to do. People are dying. Our lethality is pretty good. We killed a good amount of people. Okay, last few people, just die. You're not going to get a cure. It's okay. And there we go. Okay, excuse me. Oh, I was looking at a certain country instead of the world, so I was like, shouldn't everybody be dead by now? It took a little bit longer than I thought it was just going to, but that's okay. We got everybody, and now we can move on. So the second plague we're going to go to is the Prion, and like I said before, we're going to switch this one over to our Symptostasis. That's going to make sure symptom costs don't go up, and symptoms are a lot more important for all the different kinds of plagues. While for the first one, we could just kind of cheat the system, these other ones we actually have to work at it. We have to transmit the plague in a way that actually makes sense, which is kind of sad for me, but our main ways, like I said, are going to be focusing on air travel and water travel. We're also going to make sure we have plenty of these different non-lethal symptoms, because right now we just want to spread it. We don't want to kill anybody, because then the cure is going to come a lot faster. And like I said before, Greenland is the place we're worried about the most, so we're going to focus a lot on water travel, because Greenland only has that one little port you can get into, so we need one country to just infiltrate into Greenland, and then we're pretty much set for the rest of the run. This is a pretty interesting game to actually go ahead and speedrun, because you're constantly on the move. You don't pause the game at all, and you want to make sure you don't make any mistakes, but it is a scary thing. I'm going to wait a little bit until I infect a couple more people before we try to get some more lethal symptoms. I think every country's infected now, so it makes sense to start focusing on some lethality. Yeah, people are not going to be too happy about this, and people are going to start focusing on the cure because it is actually killing a lot of people. But as you saw right there, everybody is infected with it. We don't really have to worry about the cure. They're not even close to being done with it, and now it's just about killing everybody as fast as possible. What I'm actually going to do is remove some of the infectivity, because we're not worried about that, and then we can use that on different ways to kill people. It was a nice try, humanity, but it really didn't work out too well. And there we go. That is going to be our second plague, and now we can move on to the next one. So for our next one, we're going to do the Nanovirus, which is a really interesting type of plague. The reason behind that is people start studying it and trying to develop a cure for it right away. Like literally right as it starts being a thing, people are like, okay, we got to stop this thing, which makes sense because it's a nanovirus. But you can see they're already up to 7%. It's something you worry about a little bit, but as long as you're being smart about it, we're using our code fragment interceptions to make the spread of it stop a little bit. It's not too much of a trouble as long as you're a bit smart about it. We just got to make sure it spreads pretty fast, and then the resistance goes down a lot. Gonna make sure we get all these different kinds of bubbles, get some more places to spread it, make sure we have our cold resistance, because again, that's really important for Greenland, and also make sure our transmission goes up by sea. Yeah, a lot of stuff is happening. They aren't gonna be doing too well in just a second. You can see humanity's really trying. They're 50% done with the cure. But now I'm gonna mutate it a bit to make sure, yeah, that doesn't really happen anymore. Okay, I'm trying to get all these different things while focusing on everything. There's a lot going on in this game at one point, and you gotta make sure that like the cure doesn't happen too fast. You gotta make sure everything's working. You gotta make sure you're actually killing people. It's just a lot to worry about. But it looks like the cure has officially stopped its movement. I mean, it's going up a little bit here and there, but yeah, they really did try. I mean, it was a good try. They started really early, they started often, and they almost had me, but yeah, now it's time to just go ahead and kill everybody. And yeah, no healthy people left on the world. Cure percent is now 44. It went down by 6. We pretty much destroyed humanity, or I guess not even pretty much, we just did. And for our next one, we're going to be going to Bioweapon. Bioweapon's also a pretty interesting one because, I mean, it's a bioweapon. Well, with all our abilities and all the different things we have going for us, of course, I'm not too worried about it. You can see we're pretty much always doing the same sequence of events. We're starting in Saudi Arabia, we're getting transmission through the water and the air, and then we're getting the same couple of upgrades on the symptoms. There is a little bit of difference on some of these, and there are ways to make them go just a tiny bit faster here and there. But to be honest, it's just kind of the same thing for the most part. And yep, that is a big amount of points. I'm gonna get some more good stuff for that. Thank you. I do feel bad for Saudi Arabia because we're literally just bullying them every single time we start there. It is what it is. I can't stop it. It's just who I am. I'm a speedrunner, and I guess now a world ender. So that's another thing I can add to my resume. Okay, I'm like confused on what I should get. I guess we should start getting some lethality up there, because we have infected most of the world. We got Greenland, which of course, like I always say, is the one I'm most worried about. Pretty much all the places we need to be infected are getting infected, and yeah, they're gonna start the global research on looking for a cure. It's not gonna really work out for you. You tried. It was a good try. You were almost able to do it. But, you know, almost isn't actually making it there. No more healthy people on the world. That is music to my ears. Okay, please do not take that out of context. And I guess we can increase some of our abilities, but at this point, it doesn't really matter. It's set to eradicate humans. It is over. That is going to be our next one. And now we only have 3 different plagues we have to do. We're going to start with the Parasite one. This one's actually a little bit worrying. I've actually lost some runs to the Parasite because it's just a weird one to do. With all of these, you just got to be a little bit careful about. You can't get lazy with it. You got to make sure you're doing it the correct way. Otherwise, things are going to start going bad. Our main worry is people getting the cure out early. We just got to make sure we're only getting the non-lethal stuff. We got to act like we're an innocent virus, and then, you know, we'll show our true colors in a bit. It's kind of fun just clicking on the different buttons that come up. It's kind of like whack-a-mole, but, you know, with an iPad. I might just be satisfied with very simple things. That could also be it. Oh, people are starting to work on the cure. Well, what happens if I use symbiosis? Now people don't even notice it's happening to them. People are just like, yeah, I always throw up 3 times a day. That's just normal for me. Okay, the cure is so close to getting finished. I'm actually really worried about this. This might have been a lost run. I might have messed this up again. Yep, that happened. Well, we lost. I'm gonna do another run and then skip to the Parasite part, so I'll see you then. So I finally got back to Parasite and I realized what I did wrong. I was just playing it wrong. So for Parasite, you're not just supposed to try to use non-lethal methods. You want to use lethal methods. Those are the best ways of spreading it around. So I just completely was doing it the wrong way. Of course, we do want to infect a good amount of people first, but we're going to get there in just a second. Thank you for all of these. I appreciate it, countries. Thank you for getting infected for me. We just have to make sure we don't let people develop a cure. And the only way to do that is by not letting them live. You know, you got to think about it that way. People can't develop cures if they're not alive. So yeah, we want to make sure our lethality is good, because the more people sick, the more people dying, the less people can work on the cure. And we do hope that everyone will get infected. It looks like Canada's the last big area that's kind of trying to hold on, but they're not going to be able to hold on for too long. I also realized I need to focus on what increases your lethality. I was kind of just picking whichever one I felt like it, and it wasn't a good idea. I should have played that a lot smarter, but we got done with that. Now we can move on to Virus, and hopefully we'll actually be able to finish this run out. Virus isn't too bad, or at least I'm gonna say it isn't, and then it's gonna prove to be too bad, and then, yeah, everything's gonna go wrong. I could very easily see that happening, but we're gonna hope it doesn't. You know, there's that. But yeah, now we're back to one of the ones where we don't want to kill people right away. It just, for some reason, I guess because we're trying to do that for all these different plagues, I forgot the way of doing Yeah, it's just bad. But now we can focus on just doing the right thing. I have the rest of the plan down in my brain, and we'll be able to get this run done. So I'm just gonna keep focusing on getting all this stuff. Okay, we got our first death. It must have mutated on its own, which isn't the greatest thing in the world, especially because we haven't gotten to Greenland yet. But hopefully they're just gonna send a ship over there. We'll be nice and easy. Come on, guys, just do it for me. There we go. We got the one we needed. And now, yeah, it's time for the end of humanity. Pretty much once you get Greenland infected, you know, hey, I can start killing because they can't close down their ports fast enough. They're just gonna spread it. It's gonna get bad. Yeah, you don't know how long I spent just doing these over and over again and messing them up. I'm pretty happy with this run right now. At the very least, it's gonna be a completed run. I don't really see a way for it not to be. And you know, now that I say that, obviously for the next plague, for the last one, I'm gonna mess it up. But there we go. That's infected for all of them. And now the last one we have is the first one you're supposed to do, which is bacteria. Bacteria is similar to the other ones. Don't kill people right away. Be smart about it. Get it transmitted first. Get the couple of things like cysts, all that kind of fun stuff. And just hope that Greenland doesn't destroy our run. I do place a lot of my troubles on Greenland. I wonder if it really is the thing that's killing my run or if it's just something I don't understand. But I don't care because we're gonna get this one done. I'm not gonna not let it happen. Okay, I don't care about your mass panic. I'm too busy spreading a virus. Why would I care about a mass panic? I guess I'm causing my own mass panic, so it's gonna be a much better one. You know, if there are ever mass panics, just make sure your mass panic is better than theirs. That's some words to live by. Oh, we just got paralysis. It just mutated paralysis for us. That is not a very good thing. That's a little worrying. We really have to get stuff spreading now because that can affect us in a very bad way. So we're just gonna hope we can spread things really quickly. Just be a nice guy, Greenland. Let their Rio Olympics come back on. We don't care. Let them happen. And how about you go to the Rio Olympics? That'd be awesome. We're getting a ton of points. Rio Olympics were a success. And there we go. Greenland has been got. I saw the little thing. And yeah, now it's time to go back on my murder rampage. I guess Canada and the US are doing all right now, but don't worry, that map's gonna get red in just a second. I'm gonna get some drug resistance up. I don't think they're gonna have time to get the cure. I think we pretty much just won this, and I'm not really too worried about it. I do want a bit more lethality. That's gonna help a bit. And if we can get it up to there, that's gonna mean everything's gonna end off soon. I think we infected everybody in the world, and yeah, that's going to be the run. I spent so much time trying to do this one. Thank you, finally. But there we go. You're dead, LOL. Destroyed humanity. And that's a victory. And if we look on the speedrun.com leaderboards, we'll see we didn't get the greatest place in the world. But in my defense, there are only 3 people who have run this. And I don't think I can take my sanity getting any worse by doing this again. But I'd like to thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like on it. It really helps me with the YouTube algorithm, and I'd really appreciate it. Also, I do plenty of different speedruns on my channel. So if you're interested in that kind of content, subscribe. But enough chilling. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you next time.